praying to Swami, and we shall begin with our opening prayers. Oh, 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 Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Oh, Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Saishwaraya Vidmahe Satyadevaya Dhimahi Tanna Sarva Prachodayat. Om Sai Ram, humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Master, who is most merciful to be with us in every moment of our lives, taking us on this journey. The path could be difficult, but as it says in the Satcharita, that having a guru is one of the blessings that we have due to our Punarjanma Punyam. And we are blessed to have Swami as our guru, our master in this lives. And like many of us, Swami has touched the lives of that many people, including those who are blessed to be his students, the Ratnas, as I call them. And we have yet again a Ratna who featured last week, Brother Praveen Vemula. We have heard his journey, starting as a school kid at the Ooty school, moving on to Prashanti, and then going on to specialize, doing his undergraduate and postgraduate program in biosciences, following which he was one of those chosen ones selected to learn about hospital management, with a clear vision and direction by Bhagwan to have him come and serve in his temple of healing, as one would call. And brother has beautifully said that in his previous satsang, that all we need to have is faith in the words of the master. When his sankalpa is there, everything shall fall in its own pace and place. And all we need to have is the faith and conviction for things to happen, holding on to his lotus feet. With that, I am looking forward to hearing the journey of brother post his graduation from the United States, wherein he subsequently joined the Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences. Currently he serves in the Whitefield Hospital. Over to Brother Praveen, and looking forward to having you speak from that blissful room that you are seated right now, where I know that you are also responsible for the prayers that happen in the room. This itself is almost having Swami's darshan on this beautiful day. And thank you so very much for being with us. Over to you, brother. Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan. I'm very grateful to Bhagwan for giving me this opportunity to share my experiences at his lotus feet. I would like to start with a small song that Bhagwan had composed. తెలియగతరమా నరులు కనుగొనవసమా తెలియగతరమా నరులు కనుగొనవసమా పరమతపో నిధులకైన బ్రహ్మకునైనా పరమతపో నిధులకైన బ్రహ్మకునైనా తెలియగతరమా నరులు కనుగొనవసమా తెలియగతరమా నరులు కనుగొనవసమా నీ మహిమ తెలియకెందరో ఈ మాయలో పడిరి ఈ మాయలో పడిరి నీ మహిమ తెలియకెందరో ఈ మాయలో పడిరి ఈ మాయల పడిరి నీ మరుగు చొచ్చినట్టి జనులు మహిమలు గనిరి నీ మరుగు చొచ్చినట్టి జనులు మహిమలు గనిరి నీ మర్మలీల కనుగొన మానవులకు వశమా నీ మర్మలీల కనుగొన మానవులకు వశమా తెలియగతరమా నరులు కనుగొన వశమా తెలియగతరమా నరులు కనుగొన వశమా. Very beautiful song which says that to describe glory of Bhagwan, it's not possible even to Lord Brahma himself. Today's talk, I would like to divide it into two parts. One part, the theme that which Bhagwan once mentioned to one of our staff who's working here, saying that when you work for Bhagwan, he takes care of 7 generations of yours. Narrating some of the incidences which go on to show how he takes care. He protects us like the eyelids protect the eye. And the other part would be about Bhagwan's hand in running of this temple of healing. So I'll start right away with some of the experiences that I have had from the time I started working for Bhagwan. I'll share a small video. I hope you are able to see.
Yes, it's yeah, it's coming on. Yes. There's no sound though. No.
Okay, so
Yeah. You might not have shared sound. If there was sound, you share your sound, please.
there's not
No, when you're sharing screen, there will be a
sound
button.
in this.
Yeah, from the computer.
No, there is no sound in this. There's
Okay.
just a video.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so this video has a special significance in my life because this happened when I was sent by Bhagwan to study in US. So the person whom you saw in the video was my brother. When I was in the US, suddenly one day Bhagwan came out after darshan and called my brother and said that just now your father had a major accident and your father was going, and then before him the car wheels started going on the road, and before he could realize, the car had tumbled 3 times and it fell. In India, if you've seen the highways, in some of the areas the road is very high, whereas the surroundings are very low. So in one of those places, my father's wheels had come off, and then the car tumbled and he fell into the slope down. Bhagwan told him that the car had rolled 3 times and then it has stood back on the correctly, and then your father has just come out, and he has had a small scratch on his head. So this is what Bhagwan told him, and immediately, those days you didn't have cell phones, so immediately after that he made an STD call to my father's. My father had a cell phone. It was those early days of cell phone in India, and my father picked up the call, and he narrated exactly how Swami told my brother that when he was going, this was a Maruti Omni. I don't know if any of you have seen that vehicle. So the car was going, Omni was going, and then suddenly he found that the wheels of his car were going before the car. And then before he could realize, the car had done a lot of paltis, what you call in India, and then it came back, and a lot of people rushed to see what has happened. And then when they opened the door, my father came out. It was, the entire vehicle was totaled, and then my father didn't have any injury except a scratch on his head, and one of the Swami had given him a 3-diamond ring in one of the interviews we had, and one of the stones in that ring had fallen off. So we were very grateful to Swami, and then once I returned back, Bhagwan called us for an interview, and he again narrated it to our family, that incident. Before that, he called my father and asked him for his ring, and then blew on it 3 times, and then earlier. This story also had a very important, this particular video had a very important role to play in our family, in the sense that I've never seen this video before. It was post Mahasamadhi, when Bhagwan left the physical body. That was the first Guru Purnima, and the entire atmosphere was very sad. We were missing the divine form physically. At that point, suddenly one video came up on the screens, big screens, and when Bhagwan was calling out, I felt that Bhagwan was calling my brother. Somehow, I've never seen this video before. So when my brother actually came front, I said, oh wow, he's blessed, because Swami is showing him that he is there with him. At the same moment, my brother who was in the US, he was watching the thing live, this video stream live, and he was feeling very low, saying that now Bhagwan is not physically there and all that. And that at the same time, this thing happens of Swami's video coming up, and Swami calling him front and talking to him and giving him Pad Namaskar. This shows that though Bhagwan may not be seen physically, he is always there, and he is protecting us and taking care of us. And he is aware of each and every thought that is going on in our minds, and he responds to show his presence at that particular moment. Going back to 2004, I had just in 2002, Bhagwan had given me this wonderful opportunity to work in Bhagwan's Temple of Healing, and I think that's the greatest gift one can ever aspire for, is to be able to work and serve Bhagwan. So it was the first leave that I took to visit my parents after that, and I had taken a train, Sheshadri Express from Whitefield. It goes to Vijayawada, and the train timing was such that it reaches Vijayawada at around 3 a.m. in the morning. My father had sent a vehicle to pick me up from the railway station, and our place is around 2.5 to 3 hours from Vijayawada. So I had got into the vehicle, and since it was very early morning, I had fallen asleep, and I fell asleep on the window of the car. Probably it was maybe an hour into the journey, I guess. I was still asleep. I was woken up by sudden sudden screeching of the car wheels. When I looked out, I saw that the car was rotating as on its axis, as you can say, and my only word that came out of my mouth was Sai, Sai. And as soon as I shouted, there was a big, like as I mentioned earlier, the Indian roads have a very steep sides, so it was almost going towards that. And as I shouted Swami's name, the car immediately stopped, and we came out. What had actually happened was the car was trying to overtake a lorry, and as he was almost coming in front of the lorry, suddenly a bus came from the opposite direction, and to avoid the bus, he had taken a sharp turn in, and the lorry hit the car, and the lorry pushed the car, and the impact was on the same side where I was sleeping on the window, and it pushed for nearly 25 to 30 feet, and then the lorry driver who came down to see what has happened, he said that this sort of incident has happened close to 5 times to him, and nobody has survived. So he wanted to know who was in the car, and we were standing outside, and he said there must be somebody protecting you, because the impact was such that nobody could have survived. Later, when I noticed, there was a Abhayasa picture of Bhagwan, which was a sticker which was stuck on the front windshield, and the car had gone inside exactly to the portion of Bhagwan's hand, and it stopped there. So this goes to prove that Bhagwan, as soon as you call out his name, like he did in case of Prahalada or several other devotees, he just comes and protects you. Another incident which happened probably a couple of years after that in 2006, I was to go to Puttaparthi in my car, and since nobody else was accompanying me on the trip, I felt that maybe it's waste of diesel to go alone all the way. So I put my car in Vrindavan. I parked it in Vrindavan, and then from Whitefield to Parthi there is a bus which leaves around 1 o'clock. So I got into the bus, and since I had not booked a ticket, I got a seat which was just behind the driver. There's a plank. Generally, the conductor takes a nap on that generally. So that plank was my seat, and then the bus started going. There were close to 18 staff from the hospital, so several doctors and other staff who were going to Prashanti for darshan. So the bus, it was going through Budiguri cross, And as the bus was speeding, suddenly I realized that the bus driver fell onto the wheel, and he was unconscious. And before we could notice, the bus started going off the road, and it was going straight towards a transformer pole, electric pole. And I knew death was certain, so I just started chanting Swami's name, Sai Ram, Sai Ram, Sai Ram. And the third time I chanted Sai Ram is when the impact happened, and there was a lot of spark on the electric pole because it was a live electric pole, and I think at the point of impact, suddenly as if somebody pulled off the wires, the main wire got pulled off from the main line, and then the entire thing came to a stop as if somebody put a brake, because it's a massive bus, and it can just keep going because the person his foot was on the accelerator, and he was unconscious. The driver had suffered an episode of epilepsy, and then he fell unconscious onto the steering wheel. And once the bus stopped, we got out to see, and then we realized that the wheel of the bus was just 1 feet away from a construction ditch that was dug. If the bus had gone just slightly towards the left, all of us would have fallen into that construction ditch. And if the electric wire didn't get pulled off, we would have all got electrocuted in the bus. This was the second instant of Bhagwan showing me that he is there to protect me. So this almost covers 2 generations. Another incident which happened probably 5 or 6 years back was that of my mother. My mother had visited one of the doctors because she had a certain pain in her abdomen, and then the doctor examined her and also did an ultrasound, and in the ultrasound she had drawn the anatomy of her abdomen, and then said that there is a tumor which is growing, mass which is growing in her uterus, and she had given the size of the mass and the location and all that. So my mother called me worried, saying that this is what the doctor has said, and I prayed to Bhagwan and I said, please come over, we will show in our general hospital. Dr. Jaya Bhatt, she is our senior consultant and HOD of the general hospital, and so she examined her and said that let's get few tests done, let's get an ultrasound done again in our super specialty hospital, and also some of the cancer markers. So we came to the hospital, and then Dr. Sunita, who is a senior radiologist, she herself did the scan, and the scan was going on for very long time. So I was literally worried. I was sitting outside. So then Dr. Sunita came out probably after half an hour and said, Praveen, I don't see that whatever the previous doctor has drawn, I don't see that in your mother's abdomen. So let's do a CT scan to rule out if there is an error. So CT scan was done and the entire thing was clean. The cancer markers came out negative. Then Dr. Jaya Bhatt said, probably Swami has cancer. And then we were very happy, we were grateful to Bhagwan. Then subsequently, 2 years down the line, I got a call from Dr. Jaya Bhatt again saying that somehow today morning Bhagwan seemed to have put a thought in me that I should examine your mother again. So I called them, they came to the hospital, and the tests were repeated. FNAC was done, and the pathologist report came saying that the cells were turning, they were in the pre-cancerous stage, they were turning cancerous, and with that report we approached Dr. Jaya Bhatt, and Dr. Jaya Bhatt said that this is Swami's indication, so let's go ahead and do a total hysterectomy. So the entire uterus, the other remaining part was removed. So, and then mother had a period of recovery, and then she's completely fine now. At a time when there was cancer as depicted by the doctor outside, Bhagwan decided to cancel that, but it was in her probably destiny to have cancer, and before it could become cancerous, Bhagwan decided that it should be removed, the cells should be removed, and that's how this process, entire process happened. And this happened after Bhagwan's Mahasamadhi. This goes to prove that he is there protecting us. Another incident of my grandmother, she had this history of sudden passing out. This happened some few times, and then after some time she comes back to consciousness without knowing what has happened. So when she was visiting us in Whitefield, she was in the residential quarters of the hospital, and then this incident happened again. Earlier, because by the time we reached the doctor, there was no way of finding out what had happened, and everything seemed normal. So this time, since she was here, we immediately rushed her to the emergency, and then doctors did various tests, and then found out that the heart was suddenly stopping momentarily, and then that was what was causing this issue. So immediately doctors took her to the cath lab, and then a pacemaker was implanted, and then she has never had that episode again. So this is now 3 generations that are covered. Another incident which I would like to narrate, where Bhagwan has shown his mercy, was regarding birth of our child. It happened in Bhagwan's hospital, in the general hospital. It was year 2013. My wife, who had very little pain tolerance, so she was always telling the doctors that I would like to go for a cesarean and not a normal delivery because I cannot bear that pain. And the doctor said, when we come to that point, we will take the decision. You don't worry about it. Bhagwan will take care. And as the time neared, the day morning, she had slight discomfort, pain in her this thing. So we rushed to the general hospital, and they did the few tests, and then they said that it's still not yet due, so maybe you can wait for some more time. So we came back to the hospital, and I was doing my regular work, and when I went home for the lunch, suddenly she felt little more pain, so we rushed to the hospital, and all the while the doctors were consoling her, saying that the technology has evolved wherein you can give an epidural injection even for a normal delivery, and then there won't be any pain that is palpable by you. So as soon as we went there, the doctors said that no, still there is time. She had another C-section that she needed to do, and she went and did that. And when she came back to examine again, she found that the time was right, and immediately they took her to the labor room. In the labor room, at that point, suddenly there were 4 or 5 doctors who were going by, and then they went in. And as the process was, as they were trying to get ready, and suddenly the doctor found that the baby was coming out, and the doctor, the anesthetist, Dr. Geeta, she had the injection in her hand, and before she could take any step, the baby came out, and then my wife was fearing the pain. She had pain, but it wasn't that sharp pain that generally people feel. And when baby was brought to be shown to me, I noticed one very unique this thing, that he had a birthmark on at the same spot that Bhagwan had the mole. So I just thought that it was Bhagwan's blessings on that baby. The baby, he grew up, and probably when he was, say, 6 years, 2019, he felt some discomfort, and then we showed the doctors, and then they said that we need to do a small surgery, and when they said that it's not an urgent surgery, so we could wait, and he was studying, so we said that probably in the summer holidays we will go for that. So this was sometime in January, February, and everybody agreed to that plan. And then suddenly I got a call from one of our doctors who was earlier here, and now she's working in the Gulf, and she said that I heard that your son had this issue. And we said, yeah. The doctor said wait and probably have it in April once the school vacations are there. And she said, no, why are you postponing it? It will be uncomfortable for the child. Why don't you go ahead and get it done? And the recovery for a child would be maybe 5 to 6 days. So when we spoke to the doctor, he was coming the next day, and he said, okay, let's do it tomorrow. And so the surgery went on well. My son, as like any other children, was very scared of injections. So he used to create a racket. And but when we told him about surgery, he was somehow very calm, and he was telling about it to his friends that he's going to have a surgery and all that. And prior to surgery, when injections were given, he was yelling, but he went very happily for the surgery. And during surgery, he said that when he was beginning to fall asleep, he saw Bhagwan standing next to him, putting his hand on his forehead. And then he always complained that he was born late and he couldn't see Bhagwan physically. And here Bhagwan was showing himself to him, and said when he was asleep, Bhagwan showed him close to 70 of forms of him. And he came out successfully from the surgery, and he has not had a problem since. He has developed a lot of devotion to Bhagwan, which is Bhagwan's grace, and he always keeps saying that when will Bhagwan show himself to me physically? Though I saw him during that time, but that was under anesthesia, but I want to see Bhagwan physically. I hope Bhagwan fulfills that dream of his. Another health related incident that I would like to narrate was that of my father. This also happened very recently. He's been a diabetic for last 10 years, and he's had certain heart related issues also. So they come regularly. Whenever they come to visit us, we do a test. So when the doctors saw his eyes, they said that both eyes have developed cataract, and surgery needs to be done sooner or later. So we prayed to Bhagwan, and as we were going out of the room, the doctor suddenly said, "No, no, why you have to come back? I want to see the retina." And so she put the drops, and then when she saw the retina, she suddenly said, "There's a huge detachment of the retina, and which needs to be corrected immediately." So immediately rushed to one of the nearby hospitals where one of our visiting doctor was working. So when we called that hospital, it was on a Saturday afternoon. Generally, Saturday afternoon onwards, people start closing. They said, "No, we are still there. If you come quickly, we can look at the issue." So we went there. The doctor, senior doctor, saw this thing, and she said that, "How did you manage with this large detachment? Did you feel any flashes in your eye?" And my father said, "No, he hasn't felt any symptom as such." And then they went ahead and did a laser and then corrected that retinal detachment. The doctor said that if you had come little late also, you could have lost vision in your eye. That happened to be the left eye of my father. And then subsequently, since this had this issue, they did the right eye cataract first, and then when he came back again, they decided to do the right eye. And when the right eye phaco was being done, there's always a 1 in a million chance that when the phaco is done, the lens particles which are being sucked out could drop back into the eye. And in his case, for his left eye, that had happened, and he sort of lost complete sight in his left eye. And then the doctor said that we need to do another surgery to remove those particles. And then subsequently, after it could not be done immediately because it needed certain period of time. So close to a week, my father didn't have any vision in that particular eye. And then subsequently, Dr. Kavita, our senior vitreoretinal surgeon, she scheduled the surgery to be done on a particular Saturday. So when my father was being wheeled into the operating room, I sat in Bhagwan's room and I was praying to Bhagwan for his blessings. And I will show one actually this one I forgot to show. This is the accident of that Puttaparthi bus, which I forgot to show earlier. He is one of our doctors who was there along with this is the electric pole that had got damaged due to that impact. My parents. my family, Swami blessing my family. Yeah, this particular photo, if you notice, uh, in this area there is a small like a scratch kind of thing that has come up. So when I was praying to Bhagwan to bless my father, and I suddenly noticed that this is a picture that is there on at Bhagwan's dining. We offer food to Bhagwan before it is served to the patients. So this particular photo is on that the chair of Bhagwan's dining table, and suddenly I noticed that in the Swami's left eye there is one scratch that has come, and in the operating room when they were starting the case, they suddenly found that a particular attachment that is required for the microscope was missing, and it was needed immediately. So Dr. Kavita called up the representative asking that we need this urgently for a surgery, and that person said that he's waiting outside the gate because somehow he got a thought that he should demonstrate that particular attachment to the hospital, and he was with that attachment waiting outside. So immediately he came in, they fixed that attachment, and then the surgery started. Dr. Kavita said that as soon as they made that incision in the eye, she found that all the particles which were in the vitreous fluid, they started floating up and coming out as if somebody was pushing them out. And then the surgery happened perfectly, and then his vision was completely restored. So when he was to lose his vision in his left eye twice, Bhagwan completely took it upon himself, and he ensured that his vision was perfect. Now, earlier he had difficulty reading anything near. Now his vision is perfect, both the reading wise and also the far, and so it's all Bhagwan's grace that he's able to see now. So like this, Bhagwan has taken care. That he says that for 7 generations he will take care. Here itself we had 5 generations of my family who were taken care of by Bhagwan, which proves that whatever he says has to come true, and if we serve him, we don't have to be worried about ourselves or our family, and he will definitely take care. Coming to the second part of my talk, which I wanted to speak about Bhagwan's presence in the hospital, I would like to narrate an incident of how we replaced our MRI and CT scanner. As you all know, they are high cost equipment, and with Bhagwan's grace, the equipment that were installed in 2001 were perfectly functioning up to 2015, and we decided to replace them because of technological obsolescence, but they were still working perfectly. So when Bhagwan started the hospital, the equipment that were in the hospital were the very best at that point in time. They were the best MRI scanner, CT scanner. We had surplus ventilators and everything. There was not even a bit of compromise in terms of technology or the surgical consumables we use. Many of the visiting doctors used to say that even in the corporate hospital, they don't use such costly implants that are being used here. Bhagwan always used to mention, though the treatment is free, but it is not cheap. The patient may not be paying, but he should not get any inferior treatment. He should get better treatment than even if he was paying. So that has been the track record at the hospital. So when this issue of replacement of equipment had come, we were debating between the cost and the functionality. And since the high-end scanners were very, very expensive, almost double the cost, we had consciously taken a decision that we will go for the second tier, which would still do a much better imaging than the existing scanners, but may not be the top-notch equipment. That was the decision. It was in 2015, and management took that decision, and we had negotiated with the vendors, and they had come down almost 50% on their costs that they have quoted, and everything was finalized, and we sent for customs duty exemption. And for some reason, government had delayed all the custom duty exemptions, and it was close to 6 or 7 months into the placement of the purchase order, and we were still waiting. At that point, the vendors came back, both for MRI and CT scanner, and they said that somehow we feel that Bhagwan's hospital should not have our second rung scanners. We would give our top rung scanners at the same price, negotiated price of the second rung scanners. We will take the loss, but we want Satya Sai Hospital to have our very best. So the MRI scanner which we purchased for Siemens IRA, and the CT scanner was HD 750 from GE. Both these scanners were rated number 1 in RSNA of that particular year. RSNA, if for the people in the medical field will know that it is one of the top bodies in the radiology field, which sets the benchmark for the field of radiology, and they had rated these two scanners as their best. So our hospital ended up getting their high-end scanners at the cost of their second-run scanners, and the customs duty part also, majority of it was borne by the vendors. Though from management point of view, we wanted to compromise on going with the high-end equipment. Bhagwan ensured that we don't spend much, but we still got the highest end of equipment that are that his patients would need. And even to this date, we are 5 years down, and then recently the vendors have come back again as part of their research agreement. They have upgraded the scanners again to their the highest end that is available with them, and this goes to prove that it's not us who is taking any decision, but it is Bhagwan who is taking the decision, and he will ensure that the care is top notch, whatever be our thinking. Another incident which shows that his blessings are constantly there happened in the year 2015. Though government had given this land, offered this land to Bhagwan free of cost, somehow that handing over of the land, documents never happened. So it was still in the name of KADB, Karnataka Industry and Development Board, and the the ownership was not transferred. And in 2011, when before Bhagwan left the physical body, he had told some of the functionaries that they should look at the documents of Whitefield Hospital and ensure that it is registered. So since then, for almost 5 years, we had put in lot of effort to get it registered, and there was a small issue in the sense that one of the requirements was that 50% of the hospital land must have had building coverage, and we were only at 33%, and to increase by another 17% would require expenditure of more than 200 to 300 crores, which was not necessary at this point. So because of this, there was the land was not getting registered. So we had tried all our best, and then we gave up at the end. I think when we give up is when he takes over. So I would like to share one screen. This happened just before the particular incident that I am going to mention, wherein we were in a scared mindset, wherein we said that what is going to happen, because the land in this Whitefield area had become very expensive, and many people were eyeing that land, powerful people, and there was a danger. One of the officials of KDB informed us that there is a proposal to declare some of this land as a forest land, so that some other people could increase their land occupancy in their places. At that point, Bhagwan showed a double rainbow. If you look carefully, it looks as if it is covering the entire property of the hospital, and like a bubble, sort of like we keep talking about bio bubble nowadays, that his protection was like a bubble around the entire property, and we should not be worried. And then this incident, we had some of our Orissa staff, Dr. Das and others, they came up with a proposal that they would like to have a Jagannath Rath Yatra conducted on campus, and so we had a grand celebration, in the sense that Lord Jagannath went with Subhadra and Balabhadra from the hospital to we have a bhajan hall, Sai Nagarjuna Bhajan Hall, to that, and then for 7 days we had puja there. At the end on the 7th day, when Lord Jagannath was to come back to his house, that's when we had a procession around the hospital, and as part of the procession there was complete rain, which throughout the procession, but it didn't dampen the enthusiasm of the people. So once the procession was over, we came to the main dome area of the hospital, and the idols were placed in the dome area, and we did Mahamangal Harati, and then we went back. So next day morning, when we returned, like I was probably one of the first people to come, along with one more brother who generally takes care of the dome area shrine. that's when I was going to my office and he called out to me. So I went up to the dome, and if you can notice here, uh, on the main picture that was selected by Bhagwan himself to adorn the altar of the dome area, Vibhuti had formed on the photograph, and there was a lot of shower of Vibhuti on Lord Ganesha, huge idol of Lord Ganesha below. And what we noticed was that the formation was in form of cursive letter J. If you can see, it's like a very ornamental J that Bhagwan has formed in Vibhuti with two lines on either side, just to say that he is Lord Jagannath himself. And some of the Muslim patients also said that if you read in their particular language, Khalifa language, if you read in the opposite direction, it says Allahu, that he himself is Allah, and that that particular day also happened to be Ramzan. So he showed that he is Lord Jagannath, and also he is Allah himself. You can see Vibhuti on the idols of Lord Jagannath. So we were very thrilled because generally Bhagwan has been showing his presence in people's houses, but for the first time in a institution on a large scale, he's showing his presence, and we were very happy. And then that day, next day, I was in the room talking to our director, Dr. Swarna Bharadwaj, and I was telling her that about we were talking about Bhagwan's mercy on the hospital, and then we were saying that in the discussion the hospital registration also had come up, and we said that now that Vibhuti has come, Bhagwan will take care. And next day, so I had that talk with Madam Bharadwaj, and then I moved out because she wanted to have some tea, and my office is just next to hers. And within a few seconds, Madam called me back to come back to the office, and then when I rushed in, many of us who have had the good fortune of having Bhagwan's divine darshan physically would have had this fragrance that whenever Bhagwan walks around in the mandir, whenever he is near us, we get that divine fragrance. That same fragrance was filled in that room, and there was a photograph of Bhagwan which was just behind where I was sitting, and it was opposite to where the director was sitting, and it says, "Wife here when I'm here." And Madam said that as soon as I went out and she started to drink her tea, a light came from the window, went to another photo of Bhagwan sitting in the hospital, and then finally it went and merged into the Abhayahasta of Bhagwan. And by the time I came in, Vibhuti had started forming on Bhagwan's hand right in front of her eyes, and so as we were watching, the quantity was growing, and within 3 days of this incident happening, we got a call. Our trust members got a call to come for registration. Later, the person who was a finance controller, he narrated this to me, saying that this happened much later when he had referred one of his very good friends for surgery at our hospital, and he came to see him, and he mentioned that when I narrated this incident to him, and he said that he was the person who was having the file at that time, and then as there was a change of leadership in the board, and then since this was pending for several years, he thought that he'll bring to the notice of the managing director. And when he showed him the file, he said, "No, why is it pending for so long? Call the trust members, we'll do the registration." And within no time, the entire registration happened, and we had the originals just in time when we had to prove that we are the owners of this land. So when we gave up, Bhagwan, he says, "Wife here, when I'm here," he showed his presence, and he moved the file without our intervention, and then ensured that the hospital land got registered. Another incident I would like to narrate showing Bhagwan's presence at the hospital was in 2016. All of a sudden, I had a sort of a thought which came up in my mind, and then I voiced it to our director, Dr. Swarna Bharadwaj, saying that we would like to, that why don't we have a proposal of, since for some reason Bhagwan created excess capacity in the hospital than that was actually required. So I was just thinking aloud to her, saying that there must be some reason why Bhagwan created excess capacity. Means his plan cannot be wrong. So why don't we put a proposal that some of the surgical departments in the general hospital, which do super specialty surgeries like orthopedics, why don't we request them to function out of the super specialty hospital? That was just a passing thought that I mentioned to her, and she said, "No, it's a very good thought," and she put it up in the board meeting. The board felt that that was Bhagwan's favorite hospital, and then I don't think we should do any of the changes, and the general hospital leadership also was not in favor of it. So it went silent, and then subsequently, after maybe 2 or 3 months, the proposal came from the general hospital saying that the building, which has grown organically, it had sort of developed certain leakages and was having some structural issues, and the architects have said that nothing much can be done except we have to rebuild the hospital. And there was also a proposal from the government to expand the road in front of the hospital, like it was going to be made a highway, and that was going to almost 10 meter, almost to the entrance of the hospital, the main entrance, the road was going to come. So the decision, the trust was that can we look at relocating the general hospital to the super specialty hospital campus. And so the proposal came from the trust to us that why don't we examine this. So we worked on it, and the beauty of it is Bhagwan started giving ideas on how this could be done without affecting the workload of the super specialty hospital, and different combinations came up in our mind. And then finally on the day that the decision, a month before the decision was to be taken, the trustees had visited to see for themselves, and so they had a meeting in the director's office, and one of the trustees had taken a photo of this picture, and the vibhuti was somewhat similar as in this picture. And we went around and we showed how the OPD and the inpatient care could be accommodated. And once they finished, this is not actually the full thing, but once they finished going around, the trustee who took the photo had gone to pray to Bhagwan, and then he suddenly noticed that the quantity of vibhuti had increased further, than what he had taken. He had a proof of it on his phone. And then the trustees felt that Bhagwan is in favor of the decision that they are thinking about. And then on Mahasamadhi Day, April 24th, the decision was to be taken by the board. And that day morning, when we saw in the director's office, the entire photograph was filled. It was only to this portion, the hand portion, the vibhuti was there. The entire photo was filled with vibhuti, and a lot of vibhuti was down. And so the trust took a decision to shift the hospital. And then, but nothing happened after that. So we were wondering why, because being a running hospital, it's very difficult to make modifications, structural modifications to do that accommodation. And then none of the people also come forward, the contractors, because it's not a very convenient thing for them to do modifications. So the things kept going without any movement, and we were wondering why this Swami is not allowing it to happen. And one particular day, in director's office, I had a conversation with our director, Dr. Sundaresh, saying that why this is not happening. And next day morning when we came, this particular photo that I've shown, the vibhuti from one of the portions of photograph had fallen off. And then I suddenly remembered a dialogue that Swami usually attributes it to Tyagaraja, the singer, where he sings that, O Lord Rama, even if you see with a side of your eye, the entire world, I can conquer the world. So that I remembered that, and then I told that maybe this is the indication that work is going to start. And then immediately I had within few minutes, I had a call from one of our earlier contractors, Gaurisha Constructions, and he had done almost say 5 or 6 years back some work, but after that he hasn't done any work. And his daughter had a health issue. She had a scoliosis of the spine. So he had brought to show in our neuro department. And when he was praying in the central dome area, he prayed to Swami that, Swami, you have not given me any opportunity to do service for a very long time. And then he got up and came down. That's when I called him. I was not aware that he was in the hospital. I just called him saying that there is a plan to shift the general hospital and we would like somebody to do this work. And he said, sir, just now I prayed to Bhagwan and I am getting your call. I will do the work. And generally the contractors don't do anything unless we give a work order. But he said that from tomorrow I will start the work. And without giving a work order, he started the work. And so beautifully, without even a single surgery getting cancelled, there was modifications done in the dressing rooms of the doctors so that it could accommodate more people and have more number of toilets. And the entire thing was this thing. And then the director asked one of the pundits for a good date, and he gave that July 6th was a good date, and if Swami is willing, we should inaugurate on that day. So the entire thing moved so fast that things were all ready, and then the last 5 days we had to do the shifting of the general hospital. Since it was both were working hospitals, and mainly the deliveries were already booked way in advance. So we were very, very worried. But chanting Swami's name, we started without much manpower involved. With just a Tata Ace and a tractor, majority of the equipment with just Sevadal, we were able to shift. And then the final shift had to happen, wherein the major part was to get shifted, and then we had hired few trucks, and then some of the people who were to come, labor to unload those trucks, suddenly they were missing, and then we were worried how to unload. Just then one Tata Sumo came with group of 10 Sevadal, and they came running, and then they unloaded everything. And on 6th morning, when I was given the opportunity to do the comparing, I was thinking of what to speak. Actually, we had placed in Swami's room the invitation for the function, and then that day morning some vibhuti had appeared on it, and by the time trustees came to the inauguration, and then I was thinking what to say, and then I remembered one interaction with Bhagwan almost 15 years back in 2001, before Bhagwan sent me to the US. Swami told me, you go and come back, and I will shift the general hospital inside the super specialty hospital. It was a passing statement, and I had forgotten about it. When I was about to speak, and then this flashed in my mind, and I mentioned in that in this brief, small talk of mine, saying that Bhagwan mentioned this to me, I had forgotten about it, and then he himself sowed this thought again, and now the hospital has shifted in, and we are inaugurating it. And the beauty of it was, though several deliveries were scheduled, during those 5 days, no delivery, no patient came for delivery. And on the day of inauguration, we had 3 deliveries that happened on that day. This goes to prove that he is master of everything, and he has control over every aspect. I can keep on going, narrating Bhagwan's presence at the hospital. We put letters in Bhagwan's room, and Bhagwan blesses them. Various proposals of the hospital Bhagwan has blessed, and some of them which we thought impossible have manifested themselves. The proposals have become concrete. So we always have this feeling which Bhagwan installed in my heart and all our hearts when I went through that entire process of going to the US and coming back, that there's nothing impossible for Bhagwan, and we just have to believe that he will take care, and he will take care. So that's been our experience. One experience which I forgot to mention in the last time I spoke, I thought I should mention here before I close. In the Mahabharata, we come across one small episode where Bhima is full of confidence that he is the strongest person in the world, and he's going through the forest, and then at one place he comes across an old monkey with its tail across the road, and then he tells the monkey, move out. Then the monkey says, I'm very old, I'm very weak, why don't you yourself put the tail side and then you can go. So Bhima says that it's a tiny weeny monkey, and then he tries to lift the tail with one hand, it doesn't, then he tries to lift with two and it doesn't, and with all his might he's sweating, and he falls down without being able to lift the tail. Then Lord Hanuman, who was actually that particular monkey, he takes his form. He was also Pavanputra, and Bhima also was Pavanputra. And then he tells Bhima that he should not have arrogance, that he should have faith that Lord is the strongest, and with His grace you can do anything. So during one of our interactions with Bhagwan, the Bhagwan had called us for a small interview, and then at the end Bhagwan said, I'm feeling tired, why don't you lift me? So two of us, we just completed our post-graduation and were very confident of our physical prowess. So we decided to lift Swami from the chair, and we did that for almost 10 minutes. We were trying to lift without any success. Then Bhagwan smiled and said, catch my hand, and then he got up. This he has shown several times to students, where once Bhagwan was standing on near a wire, and then he was playing with it with between his thumb and with his leg, and then one of the teachers was looking at it. Then Bhagwan caught that wire between his two fingers in the leg and then asked him, pull it out. And that person tried to pull with a lot of this thing, but he couldn't succeed. So Bhagwan always says that that whenever you have three P's, purity, patience and perseverance, then you have the divine strength, and he doesn't need to use divine strength. It's his purity that is responsible for his strength. So praying to Bhagwan to bless all of us in this terrible time that humanity is passing through in this particular pandemic. I would like to close with one small thing which Bhagwan told me, that when my last personal interview that I had with Bhagwan, when I was taking Padnamaskar, Bhagwan said that whenever you want to feel my presence, you remember all this and then you will feel my presence. So we should continue to remember the blessings that Bhagwan has showered on us, and then he will immediately be there. I think he is currently sitting and listening to our experiences. I would like to finish with a small song that Bhagwan had composed. Yavarigati yatulanunduno Shri Sai Keruka yavarigati yatulanunduno Karmano bandhamulanu Kadatroya yavari vasamu Karmano bandhamulanu Kadatroya yavari vasamu Dharmaraju viratunenta Tammulato kolavaleda ಧರ್ಮರಾಜು ವಿರಟು ನೆಂಟ ತಮ್ಮುಲತು ಕೊಲವಲೇದ ఎవరిగతి ఎటుల నుండునో శ్రీ సాయి కెరుక ఎవరిగతి ఎటుల నుండునో నిత్య సత్యమనుభవింప సత్య హరిశ్చంద్రుడు నిత్య సత్యమనుభవింప సత్య హరిశ్చంద్రుడు మాటల కొరకు తాను మాలవాని కొలవలేదా మాటల కొరకు తాను మాలవాని కొలవలేదా ఎవరి గతి ఎటుల నుండునో శ్రీ సాయి కెరుక ఎవరి గతి ఎటుల నుండునో శ్రీమన్నారాయణుండు రామావతారమెత్తి శ్రీమన్నారాయణుండు రామావతారమెత్తి ఆ మహానుభావు భార్య రావణచే దొరకలేదా ఆ మహానుభావు భార్య రావణచే దొరకలేదా ఎవరి గతి ఎటుల నుండునో శ్రీ సాయి కెరుక ఎవరి గతి ఎటుల నుండునో శ్రీ బాబా కెరుక ఎవరి గతి ఎటుల నుండునో శ్రీ సాయి కెరుక ఎవరి గతి ఎటుల నుండునో Jai Sai Ram.
Ram, brother, absolute bliss listening to you. I think the final three piece is the take home, and I think all of us, if we have a faith in Him to do His work and just be available as mere instruments for Him to use, and continue immersing ourselves with the faith and the perseverance that is needed on our part to stay on course to realize the divinity in each one of us. I guess there is nothing more blissful than being blessed to be part of a time period when He has walked in our midst and He continues to inspire us, showing us the path in every challenge that lies ahead. So thank you so very much. I have to thank Sister Anupama for helping bring Brother Praveen today and the last week. It's been absolutely blissful, and it's been His grace to have us have His darshan of His room at the Whitefield Hospital today. And we have seen so many pictures, but it's nothing like just feeling the presence amidst us. So ever grateful to Swami for all these wonderful souls coming and inspiring us, reminiscing their journeys and sharing with us those learnings that have taken place by their being at a time with Swami, molding them and grooming them. Thank you so very much, and looking forward to seeing you all next week. We shall finish off with 3 Samasta Lokas and praying that all of us stay safe with His grace. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samasta Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Bolo Bhagwan Shri Satya Sai Baba Ji ki Jai. Brother Praveen, if